Hey everybody, this is Crazy with Crazy Gaming, and we're back for another episode of Eden Crafters. So we're kind of moving right along here. As you can see, we now have a cargo ship and we have a landing pad here. Um, we have the storage factories, and then I set this up yesterday, so we now have ability to process the uranium that we get. Oh, we have 50. Good. We need to make more batteries because we pulled the batteries from the little rover here, the little dune buggy I like to call it, because that's what it kind of reminds me of. And let's see what we need to make these batteries. 3 circuit boards. Okay, I think we have circuit boards in here. I believe. Yep, we'll get those. So we need 3 more. Excuse me. We also want to build a garage here for the vehicles that we will have here. They have ability to recharge their batteries. Alrighty, so we have those. Let's go out and put those in the little rover. Okay, let's make sure this thing got charged. Yep, all 3 batteries were charged. Then we have, as you can see, oops, we have a bunch more uranium ore in here, which we're going to put it out, and I'm going to pull all that out and stick it in the refiner over here. Got to unload my, let's get rid of my, some of this stuff out of my inventory so we can grab that stuff instead of running back and forth. Hold on to the circuit boards. We need to make one of these new cabinets and for the uranium. Actually, let's change that. There we go. We're going to put both in. We probably never will put just regular uranium in here unless we come across somebody for some reason. Let's see what else. We don't need all those. These are the ceramic components. I don't think we have one for this yet either. Yeah, let's make this the ceramic components. That's all concrete we do have. All right, let's see what else. Steel we have back here. We need to get one of those rolling too. Night chips. We have, yep. And a plasma conductor, we don't have one for that yet. Yep. All right, so that clears our inventory out a little bit. We also have a place for these as well, I think. Ceramic components, insulating circuit boards, ceramic components. We did have one for the ceramic components, so that's a waste. Get rid of that. Pull those out of there. Yeah. There we go. All right. And these are called the plated connectors. I don't know if we put one of those here yet. I don't think we have. Let's make that this. Insulation layer, I know we did. All right. So, cruising right along here. All right. Let's get the rest of this stuff out of here. There we go. We'll take it all down here and let it get processed. Okay. Now, like I said, we want to get as many of these put in the water as possible. So we're going to need to manually make a bunch of these catalytic converters because we can't automate them. We don't have the ability to match the phosphorus, and that's something that we're going to need to deal with. I think we have phosphorus here, if I'm not mistaken. I think we brought some over. Maybe at the other base. We need to get some and bring it here. Can we bring some? That's osmium down the way. We can move all this. Actually put all this stuff away. We have places for all that stuff. All right, there we go. All right, so housekeeping done. I want to see. Okay, let's go see what we're going to need to make these catalytic converters. I don't think they're that hard to make, but it's the phosphorus that's the holdup. Right. So let's make as many of these as we can. See, we can manually do these all day because we have the phosphorus being fed into a warehouse over on that island. So we have access to it, but it'd be much nicer to have them already manufactured in the warehouse so that we wouldn't have to make them manually, and then we could just pull them up when we're out in the field to make these water purifiers, because I want to put a bunch of them down all over the planet and start getting all this water done, and then we can start setting up the terraformation projects on all these islands everywhere, all over these islands everywhere, so we can start completing the terraformation requirements to go to the next level. We could take our little ship and just kind of fly around and drop these, strategically drop them, so that we can start, see, we can make more of them right now, easy. All right, so what's in the recipe? It takes 5 per. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Let's make 4 more. Or let's make 9 more. And then we'll have it enough to last for a while. That'll give us 40, and that'll afford us to set quite a few down. And then the ones that we set down out of these 40s, then we'll start doing each one. We'll set up and start putting down what's required. Okay, so what else is in here? There's something else we're missing. Antennas. Now, the antennas we probably can automate. They just take iron rods and concrete, copper plate. Iron rods and copper plate. How many of those do they take? 2. So we'll make 80 of these real quick. Okay. Yeah, we'll set an automation and send that into a storage too, so that we just have those. All right, so we have enough materials now. We go set a bunch of these down. And this bay looks good. Now we can make windmills for each one. All right, so let's get out here and see if we can't work back to the other places where we're building. Put up some windmills real quick. And that will cover, when we get ready to terraform here, the machines that we'll put down for the terraformation. I don't know what the radius is. It's pretty big though, I think. Let's see if you can see on the map. Nope, it doesn't show us on the map. Now we can figure out on the map whether or not it's covered where we just dropped. It's not. So we need to put some more windmills down. We'll put these down over here. covered. What's it cost to do the, can we put down the, we need organic materials, and so let's go back. We can grab some organic materials, and then we'll be able to drop some terraformation stuff as well. I don't know what we're supposed to do about that fog right there. That's out quite a ways. I guess we'd have to build something out there. Build some sort of like bridge or something to get out there. This thing flies real nice. I like it better than the other one. All right, so we need some of this. Let's see if we can't. Did we not put, we didn't. Let me do that real quick. We need a rock and quartz. I forgot about that. So climate regulated is 0, which Earth-like atmosphere is 0. So we need to get that started, and so that's the point of this. All right, so let's see if we can't set these down. All right, so that's going to produce what we need, just a little bit of what we need. We'll probably need to eat. We'll get a couple of them going. All right, so 6, eat, and we're done. This shouldn't take too long for this. And then we need to know what we need to make pumps as well. I need fast rotors. So let's make some fast rotors while we're waiting for that stuff to grow. And then we can put some pumps down as well. What about the fast rotor? You should be able to make these fairly simple. Make 30 of them, and then we'll have them. Then we'll be able to manufacture those pumps. And then we'll put down the fertilizers and the tree planters, and we'll get a bunch of trees and a bunch of that stuff going today. This is more of the boring work that I should have probably done off camera, but I was busy. I got some stuff being done here at our house because we're planning on selling next March, and we're leaving. We're done here. The idiots here keep raising the taxes, and we're finished. And then their mistakes, we keep getting taxed even more because they're trying to make us pay for their mistakes and their stupidity. So we're out. So I've been busy with that. So I didn't get to, I was going to spend some time on here yesterday after I spent a little bit of time doing some stuff, but for the most part I was doing some work around here, and then hired a couple guys to help. do some of the stuff that I'm just too old to do anymore. I'm going to be 68 this year. All right, so now we have 40 of those, or 30 of those, so that should give us, it only takes 4 to pop, so we should be able to get quite a few down. Let's see. And then, what do we need for the fertilizers? We need organic for them. And we're going to need some filters and rotors for that, so we should probably make some rotors. Cable and rubber. And I gotta find a place that I can build it. This is what it's all about too. You know, I gotta find a place where I can automate and sync these into a small warehouse as well, so I don't have to make these either. All right, so 2 cable. Let's make some more belts. All right, so let's put these in this one, which I should probably make a sign for so I know what it is. This is going to be my miscellaneous stuff. I just get it out of my inventory. Okay, so let's put some more in here. Sort. There we go. All right. So, with that being said, we got those, and we need some. What did it say? I think it's a cable. There it is. Let's grab one of these. Let's go make a bunch of those parts we need so that we can get completed, terraformation completed. Make a bunch of these. And then we'll make a bunch of the filters. And then we should be set. And we can take off, we can start planting all that stuff. So as we're on our quest to complete these things. Let's see what the filters take. Sulfur ore. Where did I put the sulfur? It's on the other side over here. There it is. Grab a couple of those. I don't think we need that many actually, because I think it only takes 1 a pop for the filters. Righty. So when we're out in our travels, like I was going to say, we'll automate these rotors and these filters somewhere, along with the rubber and the rubber belts, so that we can be syncing those, so that we don't have to carry them with us. Where is that at? I just did it. So, yeah, so we'll automate the rubber belts and we'll sing them into belts, cable, and a bunch of that stuff. We'll find a spot and then we'll automate all that stuff and send them into warehouses so that we don't have to deal with them anymore. I just can't. I think we should make some more of these. I don't think that's going to be enough. We need cable and rubber belts. I think I can get rubber belts here. Nope. Let's grab a couple of these. So that's a reason to drop down another one of these rubbers, but I don't want to do it here. I want to do it somewhere else, because all these warehouse slots are full, and we're not going to put any more warehouses here. Otherwise it starts to really get crowded. All right, for now we can go and put, oop, there we go. Now we can go get some pumps and stuff going and start terraforming some of this area. Where is this? Like this. Come on. Can't even see the pump nozzle on this thing. What the hell? Wait a second. This is the pump we want. Right here. Put the wrong thing in the water. Alright. Alright, so we want to put down a... Now these things do not line up like right. Put this back. This, I'm gonna pull this down and put it back down again so it's square. There we go. Try and line it up as good as I can. Come on. Ship's kind of in the way here. A little bit. The reason I'm putting two down is the machines combined that we're going to put down are going to need more than just what we get from one pump. I want it to have 100% for sure. Let's move this thing. Oops. Let's move this thing out of the way. Alright. Okay, so let's put this down. Oh, we forgot to get the organics. I'm so stupid. You can still put the filtrations and all that down. So let's go ahead and do that. Nope, we can't do that either. What do we need? Organics. We need beams. Alright, so we weren't as prepared as we should have been. Because I'm stupid. So we'll run on back and get that stuff that we need. Alright, let's see if we can do this now. Alright, let's do the tree deal right there. This right in line. Hopefully it'll be not too far off. Let's get some water hooked up. That will start pumping out stuff. Let's put these down. Put one up here. Put another one over here. as well. We want to get it in line with that. Let's get our belts going. Doesn't have to be pretty. Now let's feed water to everything. I don't care if it looks pretty or not. Just as long as, well, this one's going to have to go like this. I don't want it crossing the belt. I guess I could have done it a little neater so it wasn't so ugly, but now this is all set up, we can move on to the next one. That's going to bother me. I can't help it. I got to fix this. This is pretty ridiculous. Ain't going to do it right, don't do it at all. That's what my grandpa used to say. Come on, give me a little bit of straight here. Alright, so where's this one going? It's going right up there. There we go. It's a little better. At least it's not hanging 20 feet in the air like this one's doing. That one's just kind of retarded. Alright, so let's see if we can do this again. It might. There we go. That's a little bit better. Not pretty, but at least we don't have stuff sitting 10 feet in the air. Alright, let's get out of here and we can go work the next one. We'll do some over by our base over here. Next to this one here. Some happening here. Come on. All right. That one's working. This one's going to be covered by the power. This is the original actuals, the original landing spot. It's the beginner's area. We're actually going to, I think, do those 3 items that we need to make and put into a warehouse here. We'll use this area because it has the nodes for it here. All right, let's put down one over here. I want to put 3 along this beach. Put one right down here in just a second. We're going to need a couple more going that way to get all the way back to our base as well. Alright, so this should get covered right here. Up the route. That one should be powered though. Because of this. If I'm not mistaken. Yep. So it's working. So what are we short on now? Catalytic converters, of course. Alright. Due diligence is working. Before we move on from this spot, I want to take a look at a couple of items. Okay, so we have 2 iron nodes here. We don't have a good copper node here, though. It's way in the break back up here in the hill. I believe it is, anyway. Fairly sure. We're going to need copper. It's going to take iron and copper to make the parts for the rotor and the, what do you call it? Let's see. Yeah, there's copper node right there. And that's the only one here, and we got another iron node up there, and we have a crystal node, quartz node up there, another iron node right there. So yeah, we could maybe set it up here, throw a warehouse down and pump all that stuff into the warehouse, and then, but we'll have to check it out when we get back to our base, which is where we're headed right now. We need catalytic converters. Anyways, I think we'll make a couple. We'll make enough to make a couple more of those for this area, this little bay area right here, and then we will focus on setting up that warehouse today and that other stuff that we got going on. We got a few of them down, and I mean, I thought they were going to be doing bigger areas than they're doing. They don't seem to be doing that big of areas. We're going to have to set them all over the place, I guess. It's going to take a lot. Because yeah, this cleared up this little area right here, but that's not very big. I thought it would reach way farther than that. It's not. Maybe they nerfed it or something in an update. Because it seemed like they used to go quite large. Used to get quite large areas. See, that means we're going to need another one like here. Although this one looks like it's doing pretty good. Pretty big. Well, not really, because there's another one around the corner. But even then we're short. As you can see, there's still this little space right here. There's a little bit of haze still left right here. It's kind of blows. Okay, so now we have a bunch of the stuff that we needed to continue with our stuff. Grab one more thing. So during the break, while I was manufacturing that stuff, I went ahead and set up a rubber plant over here so we can get belts and stuff. Because we're going to need a bunch of that stuff, actually. I didn't originally think it was gonna take that much, but we'll just grab those, and so I made that real quick. We're going to set up an automated feature for that as well and send that into a thing, and that's what we're going to really focus on for the rest of this. I mean, I'm going to be dropping these water purifiers all over as well, but I think I'll do most of that off camera because it's kind of boring or whatever. And we'll set up a bunch of this stuff and we'll get some stuff growing and whatnot. But for now, I just want to doing here. Let's drop another one right here real quick so we can kind of clean up some of these spaces in between where we're working. This one, I believe, might be covered by this. Let's see, where are we at? Will the power for this cover it? Nope, it won't. So we'll have to throw some windmills down as well. Let's throw this one out here. So we'll throw a few windmills down here. Just enough to power that thing for now. All right, so we got that being done. Gotta clean up that space. Throw another one down right here. Throw another one down over there. Another one down right there. We'll throw some windmills up real quick, then we'll go over and start setting up those little factories so that we can sync them into warehouses so we can start manually or automatically making this stuff without having to go to a bench to make stuff. All right, so let's get a windmill up for this. Why isn't it? That should have been enough by now. 32% of 150. So some of these are in the same area. Where are we at now? 70%. Let's look at the map here so we can see what's going on. So that should be covering these. I don't know why they ain't. Be covering all of that. I don't know why this one's not getting enough power. 70% of power. That's just wow. There we go. Now we got 100%. Wow. I wonder if this one's going to be 100% as well. This should be covering all three of these, and that's probably why it took so much. Right, yeah, that's 100%. And then this one back here should be 100%. And that should clear all this area out here pretty good. Not gonna let me. It's cooking, so I can't tell. I see. Whoa. Oh, we're not getting killed, so that's a good thing. So maybe we can get close enough. Well, that's because it was the drone. There we go. Yep, it's working. Good. Good, good, good. There's the power plant and stuff. Looks like we need another one over here as well. So we'll slam another one down over here. And that should pretty much cover all this area. And I'll go back through our camera and start setting all the terraformation stuff up. They're telling me I don't see any power, so let's throw some power up here. It's 100% of 100%, and it's smoking. So okay. All right, what is this here? Iron. We need copper though. I'm gonna check back over here because there's this one over here. This one has sulfur and stuff. We're actually gonna need a sulfur deal as well. I think there's iron right here as well. There's iron right there. There's sulfur right there. I just don't think there's any copper over here. Fortunately. There's an iron there. There's a sulfur here. The quartz. I don't think we need the quartz. But there is an iron right there. Is there another one here? Somewhere? Is there a copper up here somewhere? I can't remember. I built a small base in this area a while ago. There's a tunnel. Cave, I mean. There's just no copper here. And that's the problem with doing it here. There is sulfur over at that other area too, I think. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I built any bases around here. This area is looking pretty clean. Can we land on that rock? Let us land on the rock. Yeah, it will. Only that's not a good spot. There we go. That way we're not going to be in our building area. All right. So just quickly, I want to set up a little base here. Oops, wrong one. So we got a place to get oxygen and whatnot. And then I want to put down a... I don't know if I have the materials. I do. I'm going to put one of these down so I can... And only just so I can see the recipes of what we need. All right, so I want to set something up for this. This takes cable. That's going to take... that is going to take copper. So we need cable and rubber belts. We can build that here. And then this takes iron plate and sulfur. Can't remember if there's sulfur here or not. I don't remember. I don't think there is. See, this has sulfur, of course, but no copper anywhere. There's a large copper deposit up there. Copper, iron, quartz, cobalt. That doesn't mean anything to us. Copper. Where the hell are we at? Oh, we're way the hell over here. I don't know what I'm looking up there for. Large copper, large copper, large copper. There's a bunch of copper above us. There's no sulfur here anywhere. It's supposed to show us, make it easier for us to find. There's the blue dot that tells us where we got to go. All right, so we do need iron plate. We need copper. Let's run up here. We may end up putting a storage facility like right here, halfway between the copper and the iron, and just running everything up to the storage thing here. And we can make the rubber down on the beach. So we need copper plates. And what else to make that thing? Where's that copper node? It's right here somewhere. There it is. Got everything but the cable, and the cable is one of the reasons we need the copper. Let's put a miner on it. You know what? We should probably bring that over here. If we bring that over here, we'll be able to make a real nice clean path for all this stuff. And we won't have to fight everything. Flatten the ground and make it better. We do have a quartz node there. Is that another iron up here? I think there is. Yeah, large iron. The copper is over there. That's still quite a ways apart. Probably going to be better off bringing the copper down, belting the copper down. Let's try that first. How much alloy do we have? Not a whole lot. It's another thing I need to get into a container is the alloy. There's the copper. Might be able to bring it down through there. Let's see. How do we want to do this? Raised it up. Gotta love it. All right. Let's see if we can bring this down. Pretty sure we can. We don't want it to look too funky. I want to bring it back towards these iron nodes over here. There's two of them right here. There we go. We can clean all this loose ore. Get out of here. And this is where the leveling machine would be handy. This back over here because this is where we're going to be processing all this, and then I think we should go get the leveling machine and level all this shit out. I don't want to set that stuff down yet until we get that leveling machine over here. All right. So, what was it that we needed? Put down a base. I picked the base up because I don't want it to be way in the hell up over a no man's land and have to run long distances all the time. I'm going to keep it right here. So I'm going to put it back here where we're not going, the direction we're not going to be going. Let's jump up in here. Eat. All right. Then I can put that assembly machine down again. All right, so we need cable, and cable is going to be made from the copper. We need sulfur. Sulfur we could travel to over here. Wait a second, wait a second, wait a second. Nope, because of the copper, we got to be here. We can travel the sulfur over here. We can belt it back from over there. It's not that far. Could actually even make a tunnel through this thing and bring it over that way, so it's a straight shot. We need cable, which is going to be one of the things this is going to be used for. So I'm going to have to put this in a container. I don't like doing ore in containers, but I think we'll put it in this container here. Where are we at? Come on. And then we'll process that out. We're going to need to put some liners on this stuff, and we'll probably build out that way, just so that we've got room to move. So we'll put our miners on like this. I'm on the grid, so let's have it going that way like that. And this one can do the same thing. Get it on the grid like that. All right. These guys have power from that thing, so that's real nice. Same thing with the copper. That's why it's working without throwing anything down. And what do we need to make the cable? I believe it's just straight copper rods. Let's see. Copper plate, I mean. Oh. That's copper ingots. So let's do this. Let's stop this. Come on. Let's do this. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of all that. And then let's bring that back down. Off the belt. All right. And then we'll put it in the storage containers. There we go. And so this first one can be making the cable. What else did we need the copper for? I think we need copper plates as well. There's the cable. No, that's iron plates. Iron plates and sulfur. This is cable and rubber. What was the other thing that we're making? Yeah, copper plate and iron rods. That's going to be for the antennas. So we do need the copper plates as well. Need to build rubber. We can build that back here, I think. Come on. What are we missing? Organics. And I'm not going all the way back to the other base just to get some organics. We'll fill up some organics here. What are we missing? Rocks and quartz. No problem. Quartz all over the place here. I'm pretty sure. Thank you, it is. Oh, there's some right there. Nope, that's a rock. Where the hell's all the quartz at? There's a lot of quartz here. I just gotta get over the back this way. There's some right there. All right. Get those growers built. Trying to clean this place up a little bit. Right, so we need to make iron. What was the iron for? Can't remember. Iron plates. So let's build this one to be the iron plates. Come on. All right. Right, so we got that line set up. That's making the cables. This is making the plates. We almost 5,000 concrete available to us right now. And that should be big enough for the storage unit. We just need 17 cable and we'll be able to build that. I think we got cable right here now. Right. All right, can we get it on there? Is it big enough? There we go. Now we got something else we got to add too, but these are the first three things we want to do. Wait a second. Let me see something here. I think we need the copper plate for the next item, which is the... Let's go have a look real quick. I don't want to sink any of that stuff yet until I know exactly what we're doing here. Okay, so this takes the cable and the rubber. We got to still set up the rubber. This takes the sulfur and the iron plate. So that's going to work out. I think we got the iron plate at this end, right? Yes. And then that's the sulfur and the iron plate. This takes the cable and rubber. Takes the copper plate. Oh, this takes the copper plate and the iron rod, which is what the other, this is going to do. So that's not going to work there. Because we're going to need to build a couple of these to get what we need. That's the iron plate. That's that. That's the copper plate. We need to get that sulfur over here. Anyways, we got a good jump on things. I'm going to build a... I'm going to build the storage farther that way. I'm going to widen this out a little bit and bring it back over here. And I'm going to build the storage over here in this area here. And because this all has to go through manufacturing machines, we're going to swing everything to the left here and manufacture the parts that we're looking to get. And then we'll sink them into the storage unit over here, the warehouse. Anyways, I still have to set up the rubber and all that kind of stuff. I know today's episode was a little boring because we were running around dropping all those water cleaning deals, but it's looking better. Looks like we're clear all the way back to there and all the way over to there, and it's starting to clear up on that edge. I'll run around off camera and drop a bunch of those things and start setting up the Terra formation for all this stuff, so we can start moving that along. And I'll be back tomorrow for another episode. Well, I might take tomorrow off. Tomorrow's Sunday. I'll put in another episode for tomorrow. Anyways, thanks for watching. This is Crazy with Crazy Gaming. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you got ideas about something, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe you like what I'm doing. Maybe you have questions. Don't forget to leave a comment. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. This is Crazy with Crazy Gaming, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.